Professor Dorado. My name is Xochitl Quetzal-Diaz, and for my exercise presentation, I decided to do it on side lunges, also known as lateral lunges. So first, I just wanted to show you the exercise. Exercise, the muscles that you're engaging are going to be your quads, your glutes, as well as your hamstrings. And then as you're going side to side, you're going to target your outer thighs, your inner thighs, which are also known as your adductors and your hip flexors. And for the plane of movement for this exercise, there's 3 different types. There's the sagittal, the frontal, and the transverse. For this specific exercise, it will be the sagittal because I am moving. You're doing this exercise, you are going to have 3 different parts that are articulating. So you're going to have your hips, your knees, and your ankles. So when I go into a side lunge, my hip is going to be extending when I go out, and then I'm going to be bending my knee while my ankle is also getting all the pressure as I squat down to the side. So right here, my hips are engaged, my knee is bent, and my ankle is having pressure on it, as well as extension in my other ankle. Discuss how to set up for the exercise. So first, what you want to do is have your toes pointing forward, not to the side, not back here, pointing forward, shoulder width apart. You have your feet in the right position. You want to go to your hips. So right here, this will allow your back to stay straight, your spine to be straight. You can't see behind you if you're having a straight spine or not. So what you want to do is have your hips and your pelvic bone neutral to the ground with no pelvic tilt or just a curve in your spine. You want to avoid a curve in your spine. So when you're right here, you want to have your hips pointed to the ground, neutral to the ground, no pelvic tilt, everything is down, nice and straight, creating a nice straight spine. Another part to creating a nice straight spine is to make sure that your core is engaged at all times. Make sure those glutes are engaged as well. So we worked on the lower half of our body. Now we want to work on your upper body. So in order for you to have a nice straight back, you want your shoulders back by pinching your shoulder blades right here and then having your chest out. This will create a nice straight back. So now you finished your lower half, nice and straight, everything you needed to do, and your upper back, and now you're ready to go into the next setup. So now we have our straight back, everything's fine from our toes to our shoulders. Now what's next is making sure our head's forward. Remember, you're gonna always have your weight on your heels. You don't want it on your toes. That'll make you lean forward as you go into your lateral lunge. So your weight is gonna be on your heels. You're gonna put your hands at your chest, and then from here, you're gonna take a side step. Okay, so after we have our setup, now I'm gonna walk you through the actual motion of the exercise. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a side step with your leading leg while keeping your trailing leg planted. Depending on how far your step is, will vary person to person. It depends on your flexibility, and the longer your legs are, the bigger your step. For my side step, it's gonna be right here. This is a nice and comfortable position for me. It's not too far. So what I notice is you wanna have all your weight on that leading leg while keeping your tailing leg flat on the ground, and you're putting all your weight. You wanna be comfortable enough to allow your leading leg to be in a squat. Okay, so what you also wanna take into consideration while you're doing your lateral lunge is you want to make sure your feet are facing forward at all times. Most people, when they're in this position, they automatically want to put their foot this way. You want to prevent your leg from going towards the opposite direction, just facing forward at all times, while not over extending your knee right here, because I feel like that will cause injury. So you want to just be able to have it nice and straight while not overextending it. Right here, you're gonna keep your core engaged at the same time. So while you're in your lateral, your side lunge position, you want to make sure that your spine is still straight and taking everything that we said earlier into considerations. So what you do not want to do while you're in your side lunge is have your shoulders forward, because this will create a round, create your spine to be round. And then if you have it too far back and your pelvic out, this is creating another curve in your spine. So what we said earlier, your hips and your pelvic bone are being neutral to the spine. So you have that lower half, okay, and then your core is engaged, your shoulders are back, and your chest is out. What you also want to do while you're in your lateral lunge, what I was discussing earlier, you don't want to put all your weight on your toes because you're going to lean forward, your knee's going to go over your foot, so you want to keep that weight on your heel, your knee isn't going to go past your foot, so this helps a lot. And you want to make sure both of your feet are flat on the ground. When you're in extension, you don't want your leg to lift up like this, you want to keep it flat on the ground. So you want to focus on lowering and bending from the hips while having your glutes behind you at all. So after taking everything into consideration that we just discussed, you want to lower and bend your leading leg to around 90 degrees and then push off with that same leg. So you do it this way. So I'm right here, my toes are facing forward, my weight is going to be on my heels, I bend down, my knee isn't going past my foot, chest is straight, hands at my chest, and so what I'm doing is I'm going to lower till I'm around 90 degrees. Right here feels good with me. I feel all the muscles engage, and then I'm going to push back up into my starting position, and then I'm going to repeat onto the next leg. Some benefits that I found for doing a side lunge is that it carries on to other exercises such as Pilates squats, side to side resistant band squats, and even stability ball leg lifts. So another benefit that I came across too is that this type of exercise is another variation to engage your quads and your glutes other than a squat. For me, I benefited from this exercise by having I have more growth in the side of my glutes and overall my glutes. For my fourth benefit, I found that side lunges will help teach your body how to gain control in lateral movements, which is nice. And this is also a unilateral exercise. So this will help any problem causing imbalances within your body. And I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you so much.